Hello and welcome to the top 10 popular mind characters as chosen by you guys, the BBS community. Before I get started, there is currently a poll for the top 10 most popular heart characters, and that's linked in the description below. So please pause the video and go vote, or vote at the end of the video. With that said, thank you guys for voting on this poll, and here are the results for the top 10 most popular mind characters.
これで指名だ。てめえの相手をしてる暇はねえ。はっ
Kicking off the list, we have the tag team version of Shui Hisagi, who in my opinion is kind of a hidden gem. He not only has one of the highest attacks in the game, but also a normal attack damage link and a plus 50 bruiser. This allows him to deal a heavy amount of damage with his normal attack without any help. Speaking of which, his normal attack is ranged and is also piercing. This is useful because piercing normal attacks hit enemies behind other enemies, and they help increase the combo a lot faster than ordinary normal attacks. Shui's strong attacks are also really good. Sure, they may not do that much damage, but they all serve their purpose. His strong attack 1 has a chance to inflict paralysis, his strong attack 2 is a crawling vortex move, and his strong attack 3 is kind of a hybrid vortex move that gathers enemies in one place before hitting them with one final attack. Strong attacks 2 and 3 put enemies in one place, and are actually pretty useful for characters like this who prioritize normal attacks. And of course, let's not forget Shui has a double killer, one of which is Captain, which allows him to be good in PvP, and the other is Hollow, meaning he's also useful in PvE. It's very rare that we get a character that's useful in both PvP and fun to play in PvE, so I'm happy that this guy made the list.
本気出すわよ。いっけー
At number 9, we have a character that we should be seeing pretty soon. I'm talking about Swimsuit Ryuko, who for a short time actually had the highest attack in the game, and it's still pretty high. She also has a normal attack damage link, and unfortunately a captain killer, which her plus 40 bruiser kinda makes up for. We may not see that much of her now, but when she came out she was really good. Her high attack and her ranged normal attack made her pretty good for AoE, especially because her strong attacks actually worked really well with her normal attack, as they pushed enemies away and just kept them from being too close to you so you can continue hitting with your normal attack. But Ryuko is also good in PvP, as she had and still has one of the best specials in the game. It may not be as great as some of these instant kill ones, but it both inflicts defense weakening and hits twice with bombardment. I can see why people have fond memories of her, and I'm sure many people will try to get her when the swimsuit characters come around this year. Of course, this wouldn't be a top 10 list without some sort of Ichigo, and we really only have one relevant mind one, though I use the term relevant loosely. Still, this Ichigo, while he is very old, is actually not half bad. His attack is over 700, though just barely, and his range isn't bad. He also has a plus 20 normal attack damage link, as well as a plus 30 bruiser, and an Arankar killer. Unfortunately, with a high attack comes a low SP, so his strong attacks don't do too much damage, but it is worth noting that his strong attack 2 does have a 160% mag, and it's actually stronger than his strong attack 3. He may not be relevant too much now, but in his time this character was amazing, and was only topped by Akira, who came out at the same time he did. I can see why he's a lot of people's favorite, and this character definitely needs a remake.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, hoo 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 hoo. 月の明かりでチャッピーが舞うのだ。
At number 7, we have the Christmas version of Rukia Kuchiki, whose special never gets old to me. This Rukia is pretty amazing. She has a high SP and frenzy, as well as debilitating freezing on all of her strong attacks, normal attacks, and her special, except for her strong attack 2, which is a barrier move that really comes in handy. It not only protects Rukia from 3 hits within the next 20 seconds, but also helps to put a barrier around the rest of the team, making Rukia great for any sort of PvE, especially co-op, as her barrier and freezing make her an excellent team player. Rukia is also pretty good in guild quests. Her barrier move not only helps protect the combo, but her link allows for extra damage as long as you don't get hit, and because of frenzy, that extra damage is doubled when she uses a strong attack. Sadly, the range on some of her strong attacks isn't too great, and the barrier move does take some time to come back, leaving you with only 2 frequent strong attacks. Still, she's pretty good at anything you take her in, including PvP, though these days I wouldn't advise it. I can see why she made it on the list, and I'm actually really happy, as I didn't vote for her, but she is one of my favorite mind characters.
Respira. くだらん。
Mind Paragon came out almost a year ago, but he is still one of the greatest characters there is. Sure, he may not be as terrifying in PvP as the old Paragon was, but this guy is a monster in PvE thanks to his debilitating weakening and his strong attack recharge link, which when fully stacked will let him use all of his strong attacks twice as frequently. But that's not the only upgrade he got. Unlike the last Paragon, this one has a Soul Reaper killer instead of a Captain killer, and this one has a really high SP and Frenzy. He also has Sprinter instead of Long Stride, and he deals melee damage instead of range damage, which honestly isn't much of an upgrade, it's just kinda different. Now you may be thinking, yeah, but there are other characters with Frenzy, high SP, and debilitating weakening. What makes Paragon so special? The answer to that is his actual strong attacks, which actually hit a lot more times than normal strong attacks. This, along with the strong attack recharge build, will drastically increase the chance of inflicting weakening, and in turn let you deal a lot more damage. Paragon is easily one of those characters that even if other characters with higher stats come out, will still continue to pass the test of time.
倒れろ魚でようこそ逆さまの世界に
This character is honestly one of my most sought after characters, and someone that Caleb, for some reason, refuses to put out as a dupe in double chance gachas. Shinji is just one of those likable characters, and this version of Shinji is easily the best one in the game. His SP, while it may not be one of the highest in the game, is still pretty up there, and he has a boosted plus 25 strong attack damage link. He also has Frenzy, and his strong attack 2 has a chance to inflict burn. Shinji also has two things that make him a unique character. The first is his ridiculous range, and I'm not just talking about his strong attacks, which do have ridiculous range, but I'm more referring to his normal attack, which is a melee normal attack, but the reach on it is freaking insane, and we should definitely have more characters with this ability. But probably the most unique thing about him is that Shinji does not have a Soul Reaper affiliation. Instead, he has a Captain and Hollow affiliation, and he's the only character in the game to have this. Though I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't really serve that much of a purpose, other than being useful when characters in raids have a Soul Reaper killer, because Shinji would not be affected.
挽回陸上天元妙断崖上へ
At number 4 on the list, we have the manga version of Saji Komamura, who currently has one of the highest attacks in the game, as well as a normal attack damage link, poise, and flurry, effectively making him one of the heaviest hitting characters in the entire game. Sajin also has great range on his strong attacks, though they're most likely going to be used for breaking guard. But what makes this character stand out the most is a mechanic that's unique to him. You see, after Sajin uses his special, the range on his final attack in the normal attack string gets increased by a lot, and it allows him to hit enemies from far away with a really powerful flurried attack. This Sajin was one of the characters that I was most looking forward to when they announced the manga characters, and I'd say they pretty much nailed him, though I could do without the Espada killer.
力の差を教えてやるセロオスキュラス
We all know that this Rukia would end up on the list. He is, after all, one of the most popular characters, not just in the game, but in the actual show. And much like in the show, this character is one of the most powerful espadas. Rukia has a really high SP as well as Frenzy, and everything about him screams PvE. He's got a ranged normal attack, he's got a strong attack 1 that pushes enemies back, he's got a strong attack 2 that's a crawling vortex, and he's got a charged strong attack 3. That when fully charged deals a heavy amount of damage, but not nearly as much as his special, which is full screen and inflicts a debilitating burn. Rukia also has a Soul Reaper killer, and he has a strong attack recharge link, making him, like I said, the perfect candidate for PvE. He's also one of the best characters to take in guild quests, as his strong attacks are pretty much meant for keeping enemies away and racking up the combo like crazy. And while his strong attack 3 isn't full screen, it still has a crazy range and can deal a ton of damage, letting you save your special for when you really need it. He's truly one of the most useful characters in the game right now, and I'm glad he made it so high on the list.
その力の名前はね、挽回だよ。
うわ
At number 2, we have manga Kampachi, who is a truly unique character, not just in that he's the only Kampachi who focuses on SP, but also for his unique special, which completely transforms him and lets you use all your strong attacks again. Because of this, he's actually not a bad character to take on guild quests, as you can kinda take advantage of his special and spam your strong attacks that way. Unfortunately though, he doesn't have Sprinter, so maybe don't use him till the very end. His special transformation also boosts his damage output, if only for a limited time. Personally, I like that because it kinda forces the player to use his special and not wait till the very end of the raid like most of us do. But wait, there's more. Kenny's also one of the very few characters that focuses on SP that's still good in PvP. This is because, like most of the other Kennys, he also has poise, meaning that his strong attacks cannot be interrupted. Unless of course he's paralyzed, frozen, or dead. And you can bet he'll deal a lot of damage. He is in a 5-way tie for the 4th highest SP in the game, and he's got a strong attack damage link. Kenny is one of the most likable characters in the entire show, and I am glad that he made it at number 2. Now before I continue, I just want to remind you guys that if you haven't voted for the top 10 most popular heart characters, that is linked in the description below. Please go do that now, or at the end of the video. And much like this video, I will have a top 10 most popular heart characters at the end of the week next week. As this is the last attribute, I want to thank all of you guys for voting, and I look forward to doing this again. That said, here are a few characters that almost made it on this list, but didn't quite make it.
邪魔はさせない。蒼天に座せ氷林丸。
行きます。
どうしてもというのなら特別に見せてあげても構わないよ。
グランレイセラーデスガロン。うら私を捕らえることはできん。終わりだ。ようやくまともにやり合う気になったようだな。
And at number 1 we have White Zangetsu, who is personally one of my most favorite characters in the entire game, so I'm glad he made it at number 1. Though I'm not gonna lie, him and Kenny were very close. Still, this guy had about 20 more votes, and you can totally see why. He has one of the highest attacks in the game, as well as a normal attack damage link, and a plus 50 bruiser. He also has one of the fastest attacks in the game, and his range is pretty crazy. Both his attack speed and range make him really good in PvE, and a great character to auto with. Zangetsu also has pretty great strong attacks. While his SP may not be that high, they are still very useful, as they can all inflict debilitating weakening, which not only make his enemies attack hit for 1, but also decreases their defense, letting Zangetsu's attacks deal a lot more damage. His strong attack 1 has pretty great range, his strong attack 2 is a moving vortex that almost doubles as a shield to protect them from enemies around him, and his strong attack 3 is the also useful hybrid vortex that gathers enemies in one place before hitting them with one final strike. This particular type of vortex originated with this Zangetsu, and it's incredibly useful for someone like him who has a really high attack, as it gathers everything in one place and allows you to hit all of those enemies after the strong attack's been used. When this Zangetsu was first revealed and everybody took a look at the stats, a lot of people, including myself, were disappointed that he was a NAT character and not an SP character. But after his release, and everybody got to see how great he was, he quickly became one of the most sought after mind characters, to the point where he became the most popular mind character. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to the channel. We've got one more poll left, and it's linked in the description below. Also, sorry for the lack of rewind lately. It's been kind of a busy week and I haven't really had time to edit it, but I promise I haven't forgotten.